Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. This is the Injustice Hour. It's kind of the Aloha Hour, but Edwin's going to be a little bit later. And I was going to go ahead and begin by. Hold on a second. I need to get. Oh, I forgot. I need to get my live stream up and running so I can read the chats. But I am, as you mostly know, Mike S. Miller, your humble host, and best known as the artist of DC Comics' Injustice series for just about 5 years. Hello, Busby. Hello, Elric. Hello, Margaret. How are you guys doing? Glug, glug, glug. All right. So what we're going to do here, and I don't know if I'm going to make this a regular segment or not. I mean, Injustice is pretty popular still. Most of the videos out there get hundreds of thousands of views. So that's what he ripped off. My son just devastated my room while I was out at dinner. It's hot. What's hot? It's hot where you are, or Injustice is hot? Anyways, we tried to do something a little earlier that obviously was a little snafuistic. So we're gonna try this in a slightly different manner today or this evening. I opened up a bunch of files into my Adobe Acrobat Reader, so they should be both right on. They should be easier for you guys to access or for you guys to see. So I'm gonna slip on over there. Screen share. If I can, what the heck is going on here? There we go. There we go. And I'm gonna grab, all right, here is my first page. Let me see if I can still see you guys chatting. So if you have something interesting to say, you live inland or close to the ocean, I'm still in a heat warning. What about you? It has been pretty warm here. It's been a little bit better last day or two. I'm hoping the heat wave ends, but oh, you love Zach's garbage human sketch. Yeah, that was just a fun little thing. People are saying, "Oh, make it a shirt," but I don't really think it would sell. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do something with that character in the future. Hot women. Is this black magic? I wanted to mention this scene in so in the issue before this, in issue Injustice year 2, issue 18, and these are numbered according to the digital comics numbering, not according to the print comics. So like every 2 digital comics was 1 print comic. So I think issue 19 here would have been like issue 10, maybe issue 10 in print. I'm not sure. That was fabulous. You drew that today? No, I didn't draw this today. This is year 2 of Injustice. Like I'm saying, issue 19. What is Injustice? Injustice is a comic book that I drew for about the past 5 years, based on the video game by NetherRealm Studio, obviously licensed from Warner Brothers and DC Comics because it features all of the DC Comics characters. It's about a world where Superman's wife and unborn son and everyone he loves in Metropolis is blown up in a nuke by the Joker in a very bad situation where Superman is actually convinced through the use of some scarecrows, Scarecrow's gas, you know, the hallucinogenic gas, that Lois was Doomsday. And so Superman flies her up into the atmosphere and kills his own wife and his unborn son. And it breaks him. His grief breaks him. And he goes down and he kills the Joker and sets off sort of this tyrannical need to right all of the wrongs in the world with his superpowers that he's been letting get away with for, you know, all that time. So that is Injustice. That's how it launches. This we're like 10 issues in on year 2. So it's a 5-year story. You know, Injustice year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and they're like different, you know, 2 pretty decent sized graphic novels for each year. And so anyways, prior to this issue, for those who are aware, Harley Quinn was in her Injustice costume, which I don't know if any of you, hang on, let me see if I can find Harley's Injustice costume. Harley Quinn Injustice costume. Better not be porn. So, okay, this is all cosplay, but this, no, that's not what she looked like. Nope, that's not what she looked like either. This, right here. Okay. Okay, granted, this is cosplay, but this is essentially what the Harley Quinn costume looked like, right? So in the issue before this, the writer had her strapped with like explosives because she's taken these super pills that give her like basically Superman or Kryptonian level powers or whatever. And so she walks to this building. This is why the building is all devastated. This is the Hall of Justice behind them. And so she walks up to it and blows herself sky high because she knows she won't die. And I'm like, but she just blew off all of her clothes. What the heck are we supposed to do? So I suggested that that was not porn. I suggested that she walks, when she goes into the Hall of Justice, she finds her original costume and slips that back on, you know, sans the mask. And so for, it was a good while we had Harley Quinn in her original costume for the Injustice comic book. And you may all thank me for that because that was my suggestion. And I like the way it looked. So yeah, so there's that. That's that panel. This is the way they look in when you do the digital comics. All of the Injustice pages were bisected. Edwin didn't pop in, did he? No. Okay. All of the pages were bisected down right in the middle. So you get a top page and you get a bottom page, and so that's how they read. Like these would be individual pages in the Injustice digital comics. Good idea. Thank you, Bootsy. I thought it was good too. Yeah, it just, I mean, blowing off all her clothes didn't make sense to me. And it wouldn't have made sense, you know, in the story. So I'm like, yeah. And so Tom Taylor wrote that a little extra panel in there and said, hey, look what I found. Whatever. And so she put that on. And so here we go. I was mentioning in the deleted stream that I had Batman in this scene where he's been crippled and he's sitting in a chair next to Oracle. I had him in like a really comfortable, you know, old school Batman outfit without his cowl on. It was just like Bruce Wayne's face. Because I'm like, dude, he's in a wheelchair. Don't you think he would want to be comfortable? Because it's not like he's going to jump into action with his spine broken. But they made me change it and put him back into his beat up costume. So he's sitting in a wheelchair in full armor. Just because.
Can you zoom in on the
I'm
second
amazed this
image?
channel is this small. Reminds me of EVS before Star Wars. Thank you. I think. Thank you. I think. Scotty Richard Studio. Do you ink with pen or brushes or both? I ink with the Crowquill 102 nib, which is a steel quill, a dipping quill, and a brush. I've been lately using a size 4 Raphael Kolinsky Sable. I've used smaller ones before. Mike always has cool stuff going on at 3 a.m. Yes, sorry. A wild Edwin has appeared. Oh, I better put my headset on. Edwin Boyette, are you here?
I am here. Is there any chance you could zoom in on the second panel?
The second panel. This
from
second.
the left, the one where he's kind of slightly facing her.
I have zoomed. This is the zoom.
It's a nice image, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Did you see my Harley Quinn up here? Eh.
Yes, seeing it without the colors is kind of cool.
Yeah, and it is exclusive because they are never shown this way via DC. So pretty much the only way you're going to see these is by me posting them on the interwebs. All right, let's go to another page here. Boop. Don't save that one. 1710. So this is year 2, issue 17, and I'm sorry these aren't going to be in any kind of an order because I'm completely not organized. So we got the Bat Cave here, Alfred and Black Canary in their efforts to take down the Man of Steel. She has a special gun which fires a special, very large capacity, apparently, kryptonite bullet. This is the quote-unquote silver bullet with which they will take down Superman. And everyone's he's a little somber. She's a little pissed because she was, because Superman already killed Green Arrow. Spoilers for anyone who didn't read this. Blacklisted Universe, just don't dox yourself. Yeah, that's why I posted these all up on. So earlier, I was just going through these on my files on my computer, and I pulled up my my application for San Diego Comic-Con, which had my address on it. It had my business EIN. And I'm like, I'm going to get off and delete this stream. So that's the joke there.
At least until the LONESTAR money comes in, at least nobody can run anything up on your credit cards.
This is true. This is true. I have like a $500 credit card, and that's it. So
what is it? Nothing from nothing is nothing. You gotta have something.
Nothing from nothing ain't nothing. You gotta have something if you want to dance with me. Edwin, what kind of spam did you have today? Elric.
I had no spam today. It was what did I have today? Eggs. I had fried. So I kind of had breakfast for dinner. I had Canadian bacon and fried eggs, sunny side up.
I have a strip about that.
Mike, you never give me your money. You only give me your funny papers.
Good job.
What?
You never give me your money. You only give me your funny papers.
All right. That's enough. Grant Hall says, I saw Mike's Twitter pictures of his wife. No wonder JJ Kirby had a straight moment.
You straightened him out a little bit, huh?
You know what?
No gays.
He's not the first gay dude to have that reaction to my wife. My wife could cure quite a few people of homosexuality.
Oh, that's going to be all over tomorrow. Oh.
Hey, I didn't say it. JJ said it.
I'm feeling the male gaze right now on that top panel, though. That's apparently heterosexuality is the answer. Black
Yes.
Canaries looking good there.
Yeah. I'm starting to suspect these comics artists draw their wives into existence. Don't blame me. I'm just drawn this way.
You know, Frazetta used to do that. He used his wife as a model.
Yeah. Nice. Dressing as a para, just normal clothes takes practice. I don't get that. I like that, Batcave. Thank you very much. Hey, Gary's in here.
Hey, Mr. Shipman.
Hello, Gary. Would you like to come in here and talk about my artwork? Because that's what we're doing tonight. Let me know. Hush, Mike, no spoilers. I'm sorry. This book right here, issue year 2, is like 5 years old. So, spoilers. Sorry. I haven't read any of these yet.
Why did they let you go from Injustice? Because that's still going on, isn't it? Or did you just ask them to do something else?
It is still going on. Here, let's get to another page here because we have.
And hopefully, I'm not talking out of school, but just this stuff is good, man. And I don't mean to blow you up, but I mean it's good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't have a certain answer. I have suspicions I won't voice.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make you talk out of school.
No. The thing is,
and wasn't this a huge comic book too? I mean, like,
this is year 2, issue 17, page 9. Yeah, so I was on it for like 5 years, and I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take you there. It's so good. I don't when something's working and it's beautiful, it doesn't make any sense to.
Yeah,
that's all right. We get Lone Star now, so
that's right.
they can choke on it. I'll take Lone Star.
You know what? God had better plans for me, so I think Lone Star is that plan.
Saying choke on it probably wasn't a very Christian sentiment. You made me feel guilty. So I've got to repent for that outburst. But sometimes I am a little bit vindictive. I'm human too, man.
So this is gosh, what were they watching? They're watching something big and exploding in the sky. Was it Mogo? I think this might have been Mogo. The Green Lantern. Oh yeah. This was Mogo using his Green Lantern powers to like fry a bunch of the Sinestro Corps, and so they're like looking up. And
is that the Green Lantern planet, Mogo? Am I remembering that right? Can you zoom in on the left panel where he's like looking up at the sun? The line work on that looked kind of cool.
Oh.
Yeah. That one. Is that? I'm sorry, and this may be hard to zoom in on stuff that just looks like a lot of line work.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah, that's easy for you? Wow. Yeah.
Oh boy, this may be an early night. All right, I'm a little low on gas. Yeah. All right, let's. Oh, there it is. There's Mogo. Tearing up, and this is fun because, like I was mentioning, I don't know if you were here. Each panel, each page is bisected horizontally through the center, so that it can be one page like this, and then another page like this, right? 2 pages, because it was a digital comic first, right? But for this one, I was like, well, gosh, I should be able to make a splash page that still plays as 2 pages when you're looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I had fun with that, crispying up a bunch of Sinestro cores. I had a lot of fun with the atmosphere on Mogo, right? Like all.
And by Sinestro cores, you mean Ethan Van Sciver's? Just
I nuked all of Ethan's guys. There they are. Flesh just being seared from their bodies. Did Gary say he wanted to pop in here or no?
I wasn't paying attention to chat. I'll go over there now and check.
Well, if he does, can you send him the link? If not, then
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, and hopefully I don't get feedback here. Mute. See what Mr. Shipman said.
So yeah, there's Mogo, and that's what they were all looking at in that other panel. Don't save. This.
Mr. Shipman, did you want to come in and talk with us for a minute or two?
We are just going to be gazing at my artwork. There we go. This is the battle between the Sinestro Corps and the Green Lanterns. This is just after Superman breaks. Oh my gosh. Why am I blanking on his name? This guy Gardner. Idiot.
You are tired.
I am tired. I blank out a lot. This was kind of a fun panel, given them, doing the cross-hatching line work with the big old bright Mogo. Mogo showing up in the sky, just like, ah. Yeah. So there it is. Anybody asking any interesting questions in the chat? I'm gonna let you handle the chat so I can keep this full screen.
Yeah, let me scroll up some.
Ooh, here's a nice happy page. So I drew. Actually, I think I may have statted this, so it was exactly the same on both sides. But put a little Guy Gardner in his eyes, like Superman, not happy with Guy Gardner. Gardner.
Let's see. Daniel Wilhite says, "Hey, what's up, guys? Amazing art, Mike."
Thank you. Thank you. And here's the
Cracket of the Sea says Comicsgate needs better OPSEC. I think that's in relationship to you doxing yourself.
Oh. Don't worry, I'm screen sharing. What? Oh.
Actually, it's going off on me, so you may want to lock in. You may want to lock in on yourself so it doesn't flip over to me when I say something. Yeah.
Oh, so I see what you're doing.
Yeah, sorry. It'd be better for people to be looking at Injustice than my scruffy mug.
Oh, I'm grabbing the wrong thing here. All right, let me lock in. There we go.
Grant Hall says, Edwin, it's because he, meaning you, is a Japanese white supremacist. I've suspected this for a while now.
Yes, I believe that all half Japanese, half white people will rule the world someday. Me and Dean Cain are going to start a revolution.
Hapa supremacy, huh?
Yes, Hapa supremacy. So yeah, there's a little snappity snap, and then he just grabs him and launches him. I don't know if that's the next page because, like I said, these are not in any. Yes, that's the page from earlier.
It's a little trebuchet move there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Margaret Marikel says, Mike is great with faces.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Grant Hall says, someone get him some coffee.
It's midnight. I don't want any coffee. I want to do this for about an hour and then go lay down.
And then you sound kind of tired. At some point, Sketch Therapy said he would like to come in and talk with you.
Yeah, if he wants to bump in, that's fine. Oh, does he mean some point later? He does. Ask him if he means right now.
Sketch Therapy. Edwin Boyett, tell him I asked if I could come on. I guess he means now.
Oh yeah, sure. Bring him on.
Okay, hang on a second.
Do you have his?
Yeah, I think he follows me.
Okay.
See if I can make this work.
So here's a nice shot of Green Lantern. Da, 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 da. Oh, he's a Yellow Lantern at this point, isn't he? I think he's a Yellow Lantern at this point. Oh, no, he's not. He's okay. This is the story where he becomes the Yellow Lantern. So, yeah, nice big shot of him. Guy creating a cool high-tech cast for himself because Superman is a jerk and broke his arm. And then they see something is amiss. Sinestro senses it too, and they're off. So,
Comics legend Mike at $35,000 for Lone Star. You wear the Superman outfit to look more like Dean Cain.
Anybody got one? I might have to work out a little bit first. Let's see. Okay, I had to design these little space age ships. I was trying to do some sort of like stealthy thing. Yeah, so he's still a Green Lantern here. Then Guy Gardner comes down to, oh, I do not like her face. I think I would have fixed that face if I'd have noticed that. See, that's what happens when you're like on a crazy deadline and you're just like zipping through stuff once in a while. A face you would have fixed gets into print. They can't all be perfect. I'll try harder. Don't
Let's
save.
see.
Duplicate page. Don't save. Ooh, and there's Guy getting whacked. I really like the way the shading came out on this. Like, I've got this cool dark core shadow here, which kind of fades into just a one-sided, shading on one side. Sometimes I'm actually happy with stuff I do. I like this.
How long did the hatching on that take?
Shadow here, Rod, turn. You gotta mute it.
Sorry.
No worries, bro.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right. How about you?
Good, man.
It's been a good day. I talked to Mr. Canales today. You guys talk to him sometimes, right?
Yeah, I like Canales.
And I talked to the guys from Punchline too for a little while. We were on A Nerd and Over 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We just went back and forth with some ideas. And we were talking about video game, like a Comicscape video game. You remember those fighters game like Mugen? You remember Mugen?
No, I remember Injustice.
Well, that's high speed, but there was like a type of Marvel versus Capcom game that was open source. So you could put as many players in there. You could have Ryu versus Goku, or Optimus Prime versus Homer Simpson, and they'd have incredible power sets and fast moves. You could pretty much make any game you wanted. And I was like, you know what?
Autobots assemble.
Yeah, if you like that type of Marvel versus Capcom game, it's like a really easy way to do a comics game, fighting game. Yeah. We talked about that for a little while.
How about Lone Star versus Trigglypuff?
I don't know which one that is, but you know what? It can be done. Look, we have someone in the
is that super
Alpha
fat,
Proto in the chat says he makes Mugen sprites, so he knows how to do this stuff.
Ah, nice. Make a Lone Star one, brother.
Oh,
I'd love to see that.
So I like this shot here of
Sinestro Corps.
Sinestro, yeah.
I love that stuff.
It's a cool shot.
I think it's one of the best arcs they had in a long time. It was a good arc.
You mean Injustice? Yeah,
the games and the comics. I mean, I didn't get all the comics, but before I knew about all the Comicsgate stuff, I really got it from Remember Comics Explained.
Yeah.
Well, he just loved it, and a lot of people in that community loved it. So I really got into it, and I bought the game. I mean, the story sounded so good, I bought the game.
Yeah, well, Comics Explained should do a Lone Star Explained. You should freaking interview me, man. I'd love to be on that guy's show.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's either on the fence on all this stuff or just really doesn't want to go into it.
Well, I mean, as the freaking Injustice artist,
Well, yeah, yeah, he could
right?
definitely do that,
Yeah.
but I don't think he interviews anybody.
Interviewed by Comics Island a long time ago. I think I posted that yesterday or something.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
Yeah, I
I,
found that when I was looking for Injustice art. I wanted to
yeah.
see some of the colored panels. That's when I found that Wonder Woman headbutt. That was
Oh yeah. And I've been bugging Comics Historian.
Well, I understand he is like one of the most verbally against you know, the way characters are brought in, you know, like forced and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, but
on
he says
the
he doesn't do interviews. They're not set up for interviews the way they do their show. But I'm like,
oh,
well,
interesting.
you could do something, man. You could do something. So I keep bugging him once in a while. Some information. Look how
well,
powerful the Guardians are, man. They're just like, boom, out of my way, boy. They're like, he's like Super Yoda.
I like that. We're supposed to be on for Saturday on World Class Bullshitters.
Yeah. What time? 6 my time?
Well, I told him, well, if you want me to tell him a time, I'll tell him a time. Last I told him was, look, give me a time and your time zone because we're on different time zone and, you know, we don't want to, oh, yeah, this time, but I don't know what his time zone is. So we're all, you know what I'm saying? I think he's Midwest or Mid-East. I'm not sure. I think he's
Okay.
near Chicago, but I have truly no idea. He might be on the East Coast. I don't know.
Well, please find that out because it's like day
Oh,
after
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'll try to have all that information for today. The way I told you the show was going to run is like the way I explained a little bit of Star Wars stuff, a little bit of comic stuff. He's a comics fan. He likes the art. He likes to study it a little bit and stuff.
Right on.
And he's totally down.
Cool. I like this sort of a, you know, rescue the girl panel.
Yeah, your art is just awesome, man.
Thanks, Rod.
I love
You're
that.
pretty good at expressions, dude. Yeah, I'm picking up on that.
Yeah,
Is that something you worked on, or so? How did you develop your develop your ability
another
to
thing-
convey expressions?
That guy Gardner doesn't have the Zach haircut.
No one should have the Zach haircut, including Zach.
No, but that's a good question about the expressions.
I don't know. It's just it. You know what? It's acting. The characters have to act. They have to portray the story through body language and through act, not just action, but through expression. You know, it's.
But on a technical level, do you use references or are you just going from the mind?
I used to like look in the mirror or something, but I'll tend to just like make the face I'm trying to make.
Cool.
Not even looking at it. Like I'll just make it. I'll be making it and I'll be drawing it, and somehow or another it transfers from my face muscles to my hand muscles. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe it's experience too. Maybe at the beginning you use more reference, but now
I did. Well, that's the thing with references. References, you know, extremely important. But the more you do it, like you saw me drawing last night when I was drawing all the other Comic Skate characters, right? Like Red Rooster and Cyberfrog and
Garbage Human. I like that.
But I didn't reference those.
Nope.
Like I already drew them once, so their costumes are in my head.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to reference when I was drawing them. If it's a costume with like a whole lot of crazy detail that I have to get it exactly right, I may have to go back and reference. But once I draw something, like I got it. And it's the same thing with like faces and whatnot. For some people, and even sometimes for me, I have to draw things more than once. But you draw something enough times, you get it. It locks into your head, and then you don't have to use reference anymore.
I'm a little bit like that with the xenomorphs. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I loved the xenomorphs, so I drew a lot of them.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
So I have a little bit of like a memory. Like I know where what goes more or less, and how it should look more or less.
Right. The way those tendons cross across their cheeks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's like very. It's like a muscle without skin.
All right. Yep.
Well, Giger's art is just really. It's strange, but it's like it was like on the cutting edge when he was doing it. He
Oh
was
yeah.
just a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
too sexual, but I love the way he mixed the bio and the mechanical. And I
Yeah.
have that. Have you seen his book, The Necronomicon?
I believe so.
It's like a really big art book. I have 1 and 2. I'm
Huh.
looking at them right now. I loved it, but I thought it was a little too sexual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. All right. So here's the next page. This is where freaking Hal Jordan turns it into a total tool. Guy freaking rescues his girlfriend, and Hal punches Guy. So
No,
thanks, Hal.
What was the story with Hal Jordan? How did Hal Jordan turn to the dark side in Justice?
Because he was already, people took sides. They either took Superman's side, and Superman's cause he believed was just. But he was using his powers and the powers of those who sided with him to make the world safe from the stupidity and the evil of humankind, right? So, like an absolute police force, which takes away people's freedoms.
So this is socialist Superman. This is
more
socialist
or less.
Superman.
More or less, yeah.
They hinted at that.
My value.
Right,
impose my values and impose my morality with violence and force.
Right.
Got it.
And so in this scene here, the Guardians take away Hal Jordan's ring because he's doing all this stuff that is against the code of the Green Lanterns, right? And so without his ring, he and his girlfriend are falling to their deaths. And then here flies in Sinestro, and he says, "Here, Hal, take a Sinestro ring."
Yeah, he won't save you, but he'll give you a ring.
Yeah. So, you could take the ring or you can plummet to your death. Here's your Hobson's choice.
Oh.
And so I don't know if it's the next page or not.
I always had in my mind, like if they ever did a crossover again, that Ghost Rider would take a Sinestro ring and use it for good. Like combine the Sinestro, like the power or the energy of Sinestro and that Ghost Rider penance there.
Yeah.
I did a sketch of it, but it wasn't too good. It's hard. I did like a Parallax versus Ghost Rider, like in space. Like he got on that bat cycle and made a flaming bat cycle.
Yeah. Well, here's a moment that I designed into the scene that the writer and the editor were really stoked with, because you had the ring was the choice, right? So I drew the ring, and then I drew her falling through the hole in the ring. And the writer was like, "Oh, I love that." So that was fun. And then so here's Hal grabbing the ring and then using his power, and then dun dun dun, he's a Yellow Lantern now.
That is kind of slick.
It's a great arc.
Thank you.
It's a great arc. I mean, if you compare it to the arcs that are going on now, I mean, you can say, "Oh, they've gotten better," and this one's a little, but come on.
Yeah.
This was an awesome arc.
Any good questions?
Yeah, let me scroll back up. And so somebody says tyrannical Superman, not socialist Superman or fascist Superman. And so the reason I said socialist Superman, because we were having a fun little discussion about the roots of socialism with who's your buddy? His name escapes me.
Dan Panosian.
Yeah. And Dan has got that Slots book, and that is like that cover I posted it's a good cover.
Oh, Dan's a great artist. Yeah. Like I said, he's a great artist. He's a great person, but he's just so wrong on politics. It irks me.
Well, if you look at socialism, it's just a tool that social Darwinists use. I mean, they have sock puppets like Karl Marx selling socialism, but they don't believe in it. I mean, you think the people that sell state feudalism since the death of monarchic feudalism, have anything to do with empowering the people they consider serfs?
No, but that's
Not
the
at all.
thing is they have assimilated our education system, our higher learning, and our freaking media to the point where they've convinced people. So there are people who do believe it because they have been so brainwashed by the media and academia that
Academia has gone really bad.
yeah,
It's all
that's what I
indoctrination.
was saying. McCarthy was right. It's like
He
just
didn't go far
enough. That's right.
He didn't go far
Jinx.
enough. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah,
there.
somebody called me a horrible human being today, but not in those words.
I think
saying
they,
that.
what they precisely called you was an F head.
Yes. Well,
Listen, they're
I
either
didn't wanna
willfully they're either willfully ignorant or morally corrupt. That's all it is.
They could be both.
Well, the social Darwinist is more morally corrupt because he has something to gain from the socialism he tries to impose. I mean, when you're telling the majority of the people you have no right to free speech, no right to property, your only right is to get in line and take what's left. That's very, very basic separation between serfdom and freedom. You have to be extremely poor.
Have you read Hayek?
No.
Really? You should read Friedrich Hayek's The Road to Serfdom. I think you'd really enjoy
Hayek.
Okay, so this is from chat. This is, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, so don't be upset. But this is Vasan Kazi. Now we want a face cam of you drawing expressions.
No.
I want a face cam when you get that supercuts cut.
That's so not gonna happen.
No, I was saying okay, but EVS has to get the hair plugs first, and then we go get the cuts. you gotta risk something. I mean, you gotta put something up there.
From chat.
Well, I got a lot more to lose than any of those other guys. So
I know. I was like, no, you can't do that. My God, that's some great hair. Y'all got some great hair.
I mean, Mitch's hair is about a 3-month investment, right? He could shave his head bald and still have that hair back in like 3 months.
Yeah, but he has the crest. It's all part of the. He has to wait till the sale is over. He's got to keep that crest at least till the store closes.
Dank Lobo says, "Oh my God, the OG Teen Titans show is coming back." I wonder if they're talking about.
Oh, I saw something about that at the con.
Are they talking about the new one where homeboy is saying F Batman? Because that kind of turned me off.
No, I think it's like Teen Titans Young Justice or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I just walked past the booth. I didn't see it. Yeah, it's an animated thing, but it's not like it's not Teen Titans Go. It'd be a new thing or the old thing.
Okay.
Some of the animated is better than the
live
DCEU.
action thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
The live action thing though that I saw a preview with Starfire and everybody else. I don't know. I didn't feel excited.
Well, they dress Starfire like a hooker. If you dress her like a decent
human,
people might like
just in general.
That live action thing looks horrible.
The dialogue didn't look good. It didn't sound good.
It looked kind of nihilistic, kind of bleak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a sad face. Look,
what does Lone Star say? What does Lone Star say? It's getting harder to tell the bad guys from the good guys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good guys from the bad, but close enough. Look,
who is this crying here? What character is that?
This is Oracle.
Okay.
I can't remember.
That's Gordon's daughter, right?
Yeah. I don't remember who died at this moment.
Did you ever see the Assault on Arkham animated movie?
No.
Well, if you ever see the Assault on Arkham animated movie, it's the best version of Suicide Squad you'll ever see.
Yeah.
They copied that animated movie, and that's what they did and they would have done a better job if they just would have done an exact copy. They changed the villains. They did a couple of changes in there. but the changes that they made just made it worse. If they would have done an exact copy of Assault on Arkham and Squad, they would have killed it.
Mm.
I, I don't know Injustice that well, but I do know that there's a famous scene where Alfred is just beating the stuffing out of Superman.
I drew that.
Is that yours? Oh, okay, okay.
Awesome.
This was such a pain in the butt to draw because I had to model it off of the bat plane in the freaking video game.
Okay.
And I didn't have a model of it to get different angles, so it's like I had to get these horrible images and then try to basically recreate. Yeah. So I think I did fairly well, but it is what it is.
I like it. I think it looks cool.
I don't.
I mean, your work is excellent. I could never judge it. I'm just a fan, but as a customer, I could say I'd pay for it.
There you go.
I always see it. There's that separation. I believe in that separation between fan, reviewer, and pro. I mean, you can work together, but there's a distinct perspective that's very different. It's like the trinity of the consumer. There's the fan or the customer that's going to need the honest reviewer so he can know what's good or bad. And the honest reviewer is under attack in almost every consumer industry that has to do with, like, creative. I mean, not soda and foods, things that are always the same, but something you got to crank out something different, like movies, games, comics, this kind of thing. It's always the honest reviewer is constantly under attack. And there's a lot of pros that have that feedback loop closed. And as a customer, first of all, I need honest reviewers so I don't waste my money and I don't invest in a property. And if the feedback loop is closed, then I'm investing in a property that might go down the chutes because it's just a person that's not listening.
Yeah, so, I think I was that triumvirate. I mentioned that in my my press release.
I think
that's what Comicsgate is. It's the fans and the critics and the pros getting together and agreeing on basic principles that we deserve more. Yeah,
better the relationship and better the product.
I don't know that I'm unbiased though. I mean, a lot of the people I talk to, I like them as people and like their art.
Well, you're like a marketing division.
I'm not really qualified to judge art. All I know is like if it emotionally resonates with me or not. But as far as like technique and all that, yeah, I can't talk.
How does this panel resonate with you? Or look powerful. At him. He's just like flicking his finger, and they're like, smush.
There's a lot of power there. And,
yeah.
And I like how you did the Sinestro
get
boom.
That powerful?
No, it's not Sinestro. It's the Guardian.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, it's the Guardian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it now.
I like how you did the sonic boom. You've seen a couple of sonic booms, right?
I've seen pictures, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good touch. I like that.
Thank you. All right, let's see what else. Go back to the top of this. Yeah, this is Sinestro thinking he's all that in a bag of chips coming after the freaking Guardian. And the Guardian's like, okay.
I think the only bit of your work I've ever given you grief on, I think, was on your dialogue, yeah? The yoink.
Yoink. You don't like my yoink? It's fine.
Well, yoink, I don't know how to translate that.
You know what it
like,
is, though?
It's like Homer Simpson's doink, right? It's like,
I realized that this is my bias though, because I'm more biased to whatever I can read with a clean flow, and so this is my yeah.
I mean, I've gotten into projects that I didn't really, I'm go deep into it, but I just like when I got into Jawbreakers, I didn't look too much at the art. I didn't look too much at anything. I just knew these people were persecuting Uncle Lee, and I wanted to rub some profit in their faces. That's why I always say there's two stories. There's the story of Mike and the story of Lone Star. and both of those stories sell comics. Right now, Zach and Supercuts are making money, right? and because why? Because half the story is the character and half the story is the maker.
Right.
And in an industry where the makers are just, they're irredeemable, then the story of the artist sells as many books, has the potential to sell as many books as the story of the character.
Right.
Well, what's making people nuts? What's making these people nuts is that Indiegogo is like the perfect free market. Indiegogo, Kickstarter, whatever, is the perfect free market, right? There's no, you could
For
say
now.
that middle.
There's
yeah.
no cartel.
And actually, what is it? Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I've heard is
A little biased.
a little biased. Yeah. So Indiegogo, yes.
Indiegogo,
And
make
hopefully,
that money on
hopefully,
Indiegogo.
and we need to get this out. We need to get this out. Hopefully, Indiegogo will stay on the up and up. But if they don't, there's enough people running Indiegogos now where what percentage does Indiegogo take?
4, I think.
4. Okay, so just from Comicsgate alone, Indiegogo's made $44,000, maybe closing in on $50,000 just from Comicsgate.
Not only that, I mean, if you know a little bit about banking, I used to work at the Caracas Bank in Puerto Rico, right? And if you have that within your ledger, right, you can overnight it to JP Morgan and JP Morgan Chase, right?
Yeah.
So if you have, out of all these people that have yet to, they don't have to pay out yet. I don't have to pay any of this money out for till 3 days from now. So I can overnight it to JP Morgan Chase, and when it comes back the next morning, it comes back with a little cream on top.
Yeah. And since some of these projects are running, the funding period is a month or 2 months, the cream could actually be fairly substantial.
Yeah, well, you don't want to leave it out too long. You usually do a day, maybe a week, if it's like a short thing.
No, I'm just saying some of these Indiegogo, the funding periods, they're not paying out for a month to 2 months.
So that's a lot of time that they can play with that. I bet you anything that they're not just counting on that 4%. They're playing with all the money in that bank.
I feel you. I like this panel here.
Yes.
I don't know. I like doing these explosions.
A little bit on the shield. Is that possible?
I like that. I would like to see I gotta see this with colors. I feel like you made me feel like buying all this stuff. And I bought the game just based on the story arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't keep buying the comics?
No, I didn't even buy the comics. I feel dumb. I feel stupid. I should have bought it. They probably gone up in price now that you're gone. They can't get your art anymore over there.
Are you still getting any royalties from Injustice, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
The further I get away from doing the newer books, the less my royalty checks are. But yeah, actually, I just got one right before con. So there's Superman getting a nice shot in the back.
Chat keeps asking who Sketch Therapy is. Sketch, can you quickly identify yourself?
Well, I'm an old veteran. I had done like a million things since I left the Army, but with more time, it got a little harder to concentrate. I had an accident when I was in the Army, kind of cracked my skull. And but I didn't want to take the money because they say it's called survivor's guilt, when you feel guilty that you didn't die with your friends and they're all dead. You know a little bit about this, Edwin, because you served, right?
Yeah, I was in the infantry.
It was I was 45 kilo. I used to fix the tanks. Gotcha. You know what a 45 kilo is, right?
Yeah.
I was working on them M1A2s. I was working on them Bradleys. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Well,
a Bradley is an armored personnel carrier. carrier for
yes.
anybody who doesn't know what that is. Yeah.
I
It's kind of
forget.
like a tank, but it carries men and it has lighter armaments than a tank.
Oh yeah, I just saw. I was driving down from L.A. through what is that naval area north of San Diego, Pendleton, and saw a bunch of those carriers. Like I don't know what they're running training
APCs.
or whatever. Yeah.
Well, people run out the back, and they have people it's more like armored personnel carriers for taking people. I was mostly on the M1s. That's that big tank with a jet engine inside.
You know what? Let me tell you something, Vic. If you're due money from the VA, okay.
Oh, I retired.
Okay.
Because I had that, but
did you pass up on money though out of guilt? Or?
For years.
Okay, but not now, right? Not now.
No, not now because it was a tricky psychiatrist, but he did the right thing. Well, it's actually a psychologist, but this is how he got me, right? I got to the point where I couldn't take the migraines. I couldn't be that steady on a job. And when you can't be that steady, you get fired. So I went from working at a bank to washing dishes at the Applebee's, right? And the doctor just tells me, look, you got to get what you're owed because you put your life online. This is like this is like if you work for a power company and you fall from the power lines, they got your back because it's part of the deal. And it's part of the deal. And I was like, I don't want that money. So I don't agree with the war.
It's just part of the contract with a soldier, though.
No, this is how he got me. He said, okay, you know what's going to happen with that money that you're rejecting? You think that they're gonna like bomb people and they're gonna shoot people and you don't want to do anything with that? Well, then you take that money, because if you don't take that money's gonna go into war. So you take that money and you invest it here. And I was like, you know what? I can't argue with that. Now I'm morally obligated.
Did you feel like Superman here in this panel?
I never felt. Man, you know a little bit about this. Sometimes it's like it's like getting shot in the foot, and sometimes you're the bullet, and sometimes you're the foot.
Well, here's the deal, man.
How you doing, Colonel Comics? I was talking to Colonel Comics on that other live stream. He's cool, dude.
Colonel Comics away.
Most things in life are outside of our control. Okay.
Yeah.
They are. The only thing that we can control is ourselves, and that's not always even guaranteed because our minds and our bodies can betray us.
Yeah, but soldiers proud. You know how we proud.
Okay,
we want to do it ourselves.
Pride is fine, but don't take you cannot take responsibility for the things that aren't under your control, and you can't make yourself.
No, but that's what the strength is. Like, this money is under your control, and it's your responsibility to invest in this country and the things that you believe are right. And I was like, oh, now I got to take that money. So I took that money.
Here's the deal: your country has made a sacred contract with you, and said if you're willing to go put your life on the line to defend the freedoms of all your other fellow Americans, right? And even sometimes defend the freedoms of people you've never met, you'll never know, people scattered across the world. If you're willing to go potentially put your blood on the line, then we have an obligation to you. And that's a sacred contract, right? And so if nothing else, you've got to take advantage of that for every other soldier. Right? It's just the obligation, right? It's the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always feel like I didn't get to do enough.
Is that Black Canary?
Yeah.
How is she flying?
She's got a backpack.
Cool.
Okay.
That makes sense. I always thought Batman should be like Tony Stark.
But I love this panel on the left.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just screaming right.
Let me get up in here. Yes, this is cool. This is very, very cool. I like the scream too.
I can almost hear it.
Well, that's there's a lot of things with sketching that I can maybe do a character, but to convey the action, to convey like an explosion, like movement, like there's certain lines, certain tricks that it just takes, a pro.
You can work on it for
I meant to
30
tell you.
years. You'll get there.
That's what
I
makes it
meant to
perfect.
tell you
That's it. That's it.
there's a
Stop.
couple of guys that were hoping to get like a decent resolution version of Lone Star just because they wanted to try and color it. A couple of your fans.
Oh,
I don't know if you have anything that could be shared on Twitter, like a black and white, that you're comfortable sharing. But yeah, a couple of people wanted to try their hands at coloring it.
yeah. Well, make sure they follow me on Twitter. I'll see if I can put something up maybe tomorrow or something.
Cool, man.
As you can see from my demeanor,
Yeah.
I'm ready to tap out. But any questions before we do? I don't want to just.
Yeah, let me cycle back up.
I don't
Let
like
me
just
cycle back
bowing
up.
out.
I'm looking.
They're asking if I took the max. Yeah, I took the max. I got the maximum retired. Man, I retired like at 37. Now I'm doing okay. I got a nice 2-story house. I got a Mercedes.
Nice.
I'm feeling good. But I dropped like $500 on the Star Wars and comics kid. I dropped, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to invest in these people because these people are about protecting property and speech.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
that's they can get that message out there quick. They got a product that comes out fast, and they can rub it in the face of the socialist justice warriors. So I love it.
We all fight our fights, right?
Well, this is the only fight I can fight. I don't have physical weapons anymore, but we got spiritual weapons. We got word swords.
Yeah. All right, Comics Legend asks, very cool. Do you ever have to look back at reference from other books to get the right look for the Batcave, for example? Yes, I do. Environments and stuff. A little harder to just stick the whole thing in your head and memorize than somebody's costume or the way a gun looks or something like that. Environments can be very, very detail intensive. So yeah, anything that's very detail intensive, I generally need to keep some sort of a reference around for.
James Hayes wants to know, would a Lone Star coloring book for the younger set be worth doing?
At some point.
Yeah.
I don't think now would. Did Gary ever say anything? I mean, it's a little late now.
Oh, he just said good night. Yeah, he said good night. He said he was getting ready to go to bed, and yeah.
Well,
Gatori Hanzo asks, your wife,
somebody else to do the. I mean, if you don't have the time, but you got a good artist and you want to help out, and they're good with that style, you could do a coloring book and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. Where was that question? Someone made a comment about my wife.
Oh, the Proverbs 31:10-31. Am I right?
Not on this one. That's the
proverb about like the good woman, more valuable than rubies.
Oh yeah,
that one. You know that you should check it out. Read it.
Yeah,
you got it. You got it. You should read it.
There's also the what was the one? It's better to live on a rooftop than with a.
Oh yeah.
Something along the lines of it's better to live on the roof than with a nagging wife.
Okay, Grant Hall said Gary said he'd come on the Aloha tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow Friday. Well, you look tired, Mr. Miller, and I got to head to a job site. We're actually demolishing out the interior of a Victoria's Secret tonight.
Oh.
Well, grab something for Uncle E. They're trolling him about that.
Don't get any pie on it.
Yeah. Pie and box wine, a little bit of something frilly.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody for being here. Rod, thank you. Thank you, Edwin. Everyone say good nights.
Okay. Right. Good night, guys. Can we
Lone
talk
Star
for a second when we're off the air?
Yeah, Lone Star Squadron.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yep.
Pleasure to speak to y'all.